But he has spun it. He has done a 360-degree spin. Then rounds the final corner. And finishes a lap down in last place.
This isn't about any ordinary man. This isn't about the random guy you see wandering around the street. This is about Justin Sampson. That laugh just shows what a joke of Formula 1 driver he actually is. Who in their right mind would give that driver a super license to be lapped by everyone in the last race in Spain? Or pretty much the whole field, maybe not the whole field, but you know what I mean. There's more than one reason why he drives for the Virgin Racing team. Get it? Justin, just a bit of advice. I'd perhaps give up your seat at the Virgin Racing team and give it back to Timo Glock. At least you won't be sniffing the back of Di Grassi's car every single race. So the next race in Monte-Carlo, how many laps will it take for Justin Sampson to crash out? It probably won't even take one. He'll probably crash out at turn 1 knowing him. What a disgrace for a driver, what a joke for driving to Formula 1. Almost as bad as Taki Inui, maybe even worse than him. The worst Formula 1 driver in the grid, even spun in the pit lane. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin ends up doing that. He hasn't done that yet, but my bets are on for him doing that in a future race. Probably, maybe his home race just to mess it up a bit more. Justin, I understand that you might be wanting to rip me to shreds right now. You can't be shit, mate. To deal with it.
Oh dear. Here is Justin's response to when he found that on the internet.
Did he really just say I was as bad as Taki Inui? Did he really say that I have to deal with it? Well, he's gonna have to deal with my physical abilities soon.
Anyway, on a different subject. Oh look, Justin seems to have found a girl he seems to have a crush on. Apparently she's called Madison. They're currently chatting about things. Wow, he's just asked her out. Let's see what her response is to this. Oh no, she's not impressed. She's not happy about something about his proposal. But go on, Justin, you're still encouraging her. And she's still angry. There is something about that proposal that obviously she doesn't like. Go on, Justin. Oh, nope. She has now completely rejected him. But Justin now has to get over this because he's now off to the airport for Monte-Carlo for the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, it's not really been a good week for Justin. Someone's very critical of him in a video, and this girl called Madison rejects him. Anyway, he's now off to the back of the garage. So here Justin is at the start of qualifying in the principality. It's not been the best of laps for Justin so far, but as you can see, he goes into chicane and goes a little bit wide. And then he heads into Raskas and completely messes that up. Into the car behind, and he goes a bit wide at Anthony Noakes for good measure. So this is first decent lap of the session, and he's four seconds off the pace. So now on his flying lap later in the session, so you can see he gets Sandevot, a pretty clean corner entry going to Sandevot, now going into Massenet, a little bit wide, but he's able to hold that back together. Now into Casino Square, now down towards Mirabeau. It's been a phase of that, and as you can see, it's up on his best. Now down into the hairpin. That looks fairly good. Now into Portier, he taps the wall slightly, and that disruption slightly going into the second Portier. Now going into the tunnel. There's traffic ahead, but looks like that traffic is on a lap, so it shouldn't affect him. Now into Nouvelle Chicane, that looks very good. There are a few areas where this lap could have been better, but still it's not been a bad lap. Now into back a little bit wide, but now into the swimming pool section, and he's a second up on his personal best. A little bit of a lock up going into the second swimming pool. Now into Raskas, a little bit of hesitation there. Now into Anthony Noakes. Where is this lap going to put Justin? This lap is going to put him 19th. decent lap. And that's where he qualifies. So a fairly decent qualifying for him considering his form in previous races.
In their right mind, give that driver a super license.
Well, Justin's clearly affected by his tough week, but it's time for him to put those thoughts to one side as we have the lights in Monaco. It's lights out and away we go. Justin gets a reasonable launch as they head towards the first corner. Down into Saint-Devote he goes, and he's almost managed to get round the outside of Chandok. And
so the next race in Monte-Carlo, how many laps will it take for Justin Sampson to crash out? It probably won't take one, it'll probably crash out turn 1 though again.
well, that did not happen. He has survived the first corner, so that's one way that he's proved him wrong. So now heading into Mirabeau, everybody's braking very early, going into Mirabeau, and Justin, and then Chandok completely cuts across, and Justin was not amused.
Did you see that? He just brake checked me and then cuts across, and I get that warning. Why?
So Justin, they're obviously not happy, and I can see why. He couldn't really have done much in that instance, seeing as Chandok completely swiped across him. Now moving on to lap 2, Justin's holding station in 18th, but then he hits too much curb on, I think it's the only corner on Monaco that doesn't have a name, and spins, but he only has dropped behind Trulli, so he hasn't really lost much in that incident. So he now has the job to get on with his race. Over the next few laps, the narrowness of the streets of Monaco were really in his favour, as he struggled for pace in his Virgin racing car, but was still able to hold off the cars behind and stay in 19th place. It was on lap 9 where Justin pitted, having held off all the cars behind. Into pits he goes. Obviously the Virgin Racing pit is at the end of the pit lane, obviously, as he's driving for the team that entered the sport last out of all the teams in the 2010 championship. They had to replace the wing because it was damaged, and he was not happy about that.
Why did you have to change the wing? I was fine as I was.
Obviously Justin not happy that they changed the wing, because now he's in last. Even though he was keeping up the pace, changing the wing kind of cost him in the pit stop. So now heading into Casino Square, into Massenet. But he's hit the wall and he's lost his front wing. If you look closely, he seemed to hit one of the posts holding the wall up. And he was furious.
Say, why was there a post there? I hit it and it's cost me my front wing. Unbelievably how dangerous that is. I'm going to punch whoever put those posts there.
So at the end of the lap, Justin pitted for a new front wing. But he was still furious. He would not stop going on about it.
The who put those posts there is going to pay. It completely up my race. Why did he have to do that? I'm going to punch him after the race.
So, as you can see, or hear, Justin is absolutely furious. He now exits the pit lane, but he now has a new problem. He's exited the pits just ahead of some of the leaders, and now how is he going to catch up to the cars ahead? Because he's going to have to move over for the leaders. So what he's decided to do is just leave the door open and not move over on the straights, so he doesn't have to slow down, and so he can continue catching up despite moving over for back markers. But unfortunately, the stewards had other ideas. You what? Seriously? What were the stewards thinking? I told Justin to move over for other cars to avoid another penalty, but he was furious as well. Okay, Justin, move over for other cars. Move over for other cars to avoid another penalty.
A penalty which I shouldn't have had. How am I supposed to close on the cars in front if I have to move over for cars? Absolutely, Mark Johnson's going to be punched soon. Again.
At the end of that lap, Justin took the drive-through penalty. So, the advantage of a drive-through penalty for Justin is that he didn't have to do any more slowing down. He now basically has no chance of catching the cars ahead, since they're like a minute ahead because of all those penalties. So now going into Casino Square, but he hits the outside wall and he's crashed out of the race. Oh no! He seemed to hit one of those posts again. At first, I asked him if he was okay. Okay, Justin, are you okay? Are you okay? Judging by his reaction, I think you can say physically he was okay, but mentally, he was furious.
No, because I'm furious. Why do they have to put that post there? That put the post there is going to be punched after the race.
Obviously, Justin Sampson, very angry. As you can see, he did hit one of those posts once again. Hopefully for next year's race, the people organising the track will have a look. But as you can see, he just went too wide, he tapped the wall. The wall should not have ended his race. Maybe it should have ripped the front wing off, but not have taken the wheels off the car. All caused by that post. And I think that hopefully those posts will be removed or something else will be put in place instead to avoid the same thing happening to anyone in next year's race. As you can see, it was a bad race for the Virgin campers. Also, DeGrassi finished a lap down. So he's now down to 21st in the standings, is Justin. It's really unfortunate for him after what was such a strong start to the season for him. In the constructors' version are now in last. After the race, Justin was absolutely furious. Okay guys, one more barrier to be removed, then the roads can be open to the public. Oh great. Be afraid everyone, Justin Sampson's on his way.
Yes!
Okay, why are you annoyed with us?
Why did you put those posts there? So dangerous! You completely ruined my race!
But the posts had to be there to...
If you keep on trying to defend yourself, I'll punch you in the face!
But those posts had to be there. Justin was not finished there. He then went to the steward's office to confront Mark Johnson. Okay, we just got one more incident. Oh, go away, Justin! What do you want?
What do I want? I want to slap you for that penalty. Fight me!
But the penalty was... So, Justin has had an awful week, hasn't he? First he has this.
Who in their right mind give that driver a super license?
Then he has this. And then he has this. Hopefully, he'll have a better week in the next round at Istanbul Park.